Guys, to finish off my E3 coverage, which has been pretty slack this year, but I have had a break, so that is the main reason. I want to talk about mainly Halo Infinite, but I do want to touch on a bit of the Devolver stuff as well. So we'll start off with Halo Infinite. It was the only real game that when I saw what was little of the actual gameplay, there was pretty much nothing in single player, which is the main thing I'm looking forward to, by the way, but there was quite a bit of multiplayer stuff. It was the only game that I you could call it getting excited for. I think it was purely because everything else just looked very average or absolute garbage. There was a couple of exceptions, but honestly, this E3 this year has been a shambles. Absolute. If this is the state of the gaming industry, then my goodness, it's in a hell of a lot worse state than even I thought. There was nothing really. When you think back to other E3s, there was nothing. Anyway, let's get on with it. Halo Infinite, it's a co-op based campaign, like pretty much all of them are. The world looks really nice. I mean, you get a bit of a look at part of the world here, and they say that it's one of the biggest open areas that they've ever created. It looks really nice. You got to say it looks really nice. And to have a campaign where you can play through in co-op, if it's done right, could be great. It could be, because we kind of know the pedigree of Halo anyway. We know that they're pretty decent games. So to know that there's a co-op campaign from a good staple like Halo, yeah, that kind of got me excited. Now, unfortunately, there's not much info on the actual single player side of things. So looking at multiplayer, it's going to drop with free multiplayer, guys, which is really nice. So anybody can play this. You don't have to buy the game. You can just get in there and play the multiplayer. Now, it's going to work on a battle pass system, and the battle passes won't expire, so I've read. Which, and before, I don't like battle passes. I really don't. I don't like anything like that. But this is purely going to be cosmetic only. And to kind of allow that to work, because Halo, you associate red v blue, so where's the cosmetics? Well, they've done away with that. There's no longer reds and blues in the sort of vibrant colours of red and blue, which I liked in the original Halo. Now you're going to have sort of like a glow. I haven't really seen much of it. You can't really see it a lot in the videos, but because obviously there's cosmetics in the game, you're going to be able to customize your characters to look all kind of weird colours, I would imagine, using the different palettes that you can get. So yeah, that remains to be seen whether that's going to be a good thing or a bad thing. I think it'll be a bad thing, but we'll see. We'll time will tell on that one. As for the actual gameplay, well, you can see here the multiplayer footage looks really nice. Grappling hooks, I love grappling hooks, and I know this is the year of the grapple. Everybody's throwing grappling hooks in at the minute, but that's not a bad thing. I mean, I love the grappling hooks in Quake. Quake 2, loved it in there, and to bring it in here, it's going to be in Battlefield as well. It's going to be good. It's going to be more suited here than Battlefield, I think, with Halo kind of games. The arenas look nice as well. They look kind of good for flying around at fast pace, grappling around. They've added aim down sights on some of the weapons that don't normally have that. That, I think, is a bad move. I like some weapons that just fire from the hip. I do, I always have. Very old school in that way. I'm not into this aim down sights in fast-paced shooters. I think it just kind of breaks the speed up, and it's not something I'm a fan of. There's no random loot crate gambling drops, so that's a good thing. And also they're adding AI bots into the multiplayer. So if you don't want to play against humans, they're adding bots. Now, I've seen many a game add bots and fail miserably because the bots have just been so crap, to be honest with you. So let's hope that the AI is actually good AI and not just token gesture to appease the people that don't want to go up against other humans. So I'm looking forward to Halo. We don't have much more info on it, but I did want to spend a good few minutes on it, which is why it wasn't included in yesterday's video, which is why I put the sticky topic in there. It's the only real game that, well, there's a couple, like I say, there was a couple yesterday that I mentioned that kind of looked decent, that I'm looking forward to, like Starfield. Elden Ring looks good, but if it's out and out Souls, I'm not going to enjoy it. That's the trouble with that. Now, Devolver, they did their piece, and honestly, there was a lot of games coming through on that, but the one I was looking forward to was Shadow Warrior 3. And guys, it looks shit. It looks like they've just copied Doom and thrown in cartoony graphics and slowed down the animations a bit of the press use on face to insta kill, which I hated, which I touched on in the last review I did. So yeah, I'm really disappointed. I mean, we didn't even get any one-liners in the actual video that we got, and that's what it was all about. Shadow Warrior 3. I love the Shadow Warrior games, and I'm really disappointed that Shadow Warrior 3 just looks like a glorified cartoon version of Doom. I mean, yes, it does look fun, just flying around the place at fast speed. The shotgun looks awesome, but it's not what I was hoping for Shadow Warrior 3, I have to say. There's not a lot of footage on it. It's probably way too early to bitch and moan about it because we don't know enough. But I am rather concerned about that, guys. So that kind of wraps it up for me for E3. A tragedy for gamers. We are losing out. And it's so sad that this is the state of affairs now in E3. You can't blame the pandemic for this either. You literally can't. This is lack of creative thought. That's what this is. And pushing agendas and box ticking instead of concentrating on making really great games. So we'll see how the year pans out. And do you know something else? A lot of the stuff that we saw at this year's E3 was stuff that was mentioned in last year's E3. So if you look at the pure exclusives for this year, it was a very poor, the worst. Let's not beat around the bush. This is the worst E3 on record by a country mile.